can reach us this week at the same number that you can reach us any week. That is 818-818-6401. We make it very convenient for you. We double up on the first three digits, 818-818-6401. You can call us about anything, really. It doesn't have to be about politics. It can be about religion. It can be about family life. It can be about your kids. It can be about anything that you want, because on the Rabbi Sperro Show, we're open and prepared to discuss any issue and to do it well. If you want to go to Facebook and reach us that way, go to facebook.com/CRN Talk. That's facebook.com/CRN Talk. And you can also, of course, you can hear us with Alexa. Our good lady friend Alexa, you go and you say, hey Alexa, play CRN1 on TuneIn Radio, or at Google Play, same thing, CRN1 on TuneIn Radio. Those of you that are listening by phone, and this is cool, you can actually listen to us by telephone. You can dial 1-605-477-4255. The other day I had a chance to hear my own show. We had pre-taped the show, Mike and I was on my way to D.C., and all I had to do was to dial my cell phone and I could hear myself, except mine wasn't 4255. I think it was 4251 or 4256, I forget. But it's always 1-605-477-425, and then it's either 5 or a 1 or a 6. So anyways, enough of that. We did a lot of the house cleaning. Now let's talk about some news. First thing I want to talk about is something that just came in the news just yesterday. And it's not that it's such an important news item, although it is significant, but it's indicative of what's going on. So the New York Times, with one of its reporters, now reported something about Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh, that when he was in Yale in one of his classes, he got drunk and certain things happened. Nothing to do with rape or anything like that. I think it was just a matter of some type of exposure or something. Probably not true, just like all of the other things that they said about him were not true. But here he is, already a Supreme Court justice, and the liberal left, the New York Times, their reporters, the whole liberal community, they want to still destroy him. There is nothing sacred to these people on the left. Leftism is all about tearing down society. It's about tearing down the institutions of society, because what leftists want to do is they want to get rid of the leadership, a country's constitution. They have no respect for a country's constitution or its institutions. And what they want to do is to replace it with a socialism. Actually, in this case, I think it's gone so far left that it's really a quasi-communism. They want to change the structure of the family, education, your rights to free speech, your rights to assembly. So they don't care that they're going to destroy a justice, the Supreme Court, because that's precisely what they do. Hey, we'll be right back. This is Rabbi Sperro on the Rabbi Sperro Show, CRN Talk Radio, right back after this break.
How would you like to save up to $500 on your next vacation package? Any vacation package anywhere in the world. Just call Superior Travel and mention the code RADIO and save up to $500. We'll design a custom, fantastic vacation just for you with all the bells and whistles. Not some cookie-cutter vacation, but a unique, all-included vacation customized by one of our exclusive travel experts. And our service is completely free. You pay nothing more. So why waste your time? Let us do it for you. We've got over 100 years of travel experience to help create the perfect trip for you. Call now and learn how to save up to $500 on your next custom vacation. Pick up the phone, call Superior Travel, and use the code word RADIO.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
I remember when I used to do a lot of traveling. I was younger once, and I had to travel. I had different accounts that I had to service. They were all over the country. I'd be in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Kentucky, West Virginia. Sometimes I'd go out west, and I'd be traveling at night in the car. Sometimes I was in Washington State. I was actually in California. It was quite good. I got a chance to see the country and visit with the people, and that's when I really learned to love America. And there was this fella on, he was called Bruce Williams. He had a nice radio voice, which is very important. And he knew his stuff. He would answer questions about, I guess it was home repair or about finance. I think mostly finance. And he had introductory music that I liked very much. It was mellow. It's kind of like this music, and I can just see myself now traveling in some rented car or my own car if it was in the Midwest. I'm from Ohio, my own car, and all of a sudden this music comes on. It always made me feel good, especially at nighttime. Not at 1 o'clock in the morning, but like 9, 10 o'clock at night. It was very good music, especially on a Sunday night. So we were talking about how the left still wants to destroy Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He's already on the Supreme Court. If you destroy him, you're really destroying the court, but they don't care. That's precisely what they want to do. They want to destroy the institutions of America. People have to understand this about the left. They're not simply a different point of view. They want a different country. Anywhere they go, they try to overturn the traditions of that country. They're socialists, they're communists. They don't want nationalism. They don't want patriotism towards the country. They don't want a national identity. They don't want anything that makes that country specific, and they want nothing to do with any type of particular culture. They want to get rid of the unique culture of a country and institute this bland, globalist, non-colorful, but under control of them society, and you won't have these types of freedoms that we're used to. That's what they're trying to do. Now, President Trump was very astute. I have to tell you, he might not have gone to Harvard, although he went to Wharton. And among business schools, Wharton is number one, maybe University of Chicago. You don't get into Wharton if you're not smart. Now, he's not sitting around talking about philosophy or Schopenhauer, but when it comes to business, when it comes to human intuition, when it comes to understanding human beings and their motives, he's an extremely smart fella. You don't become Donald Trump, number one in what you do. He even became president of the United States if you're not smart. You just don't. He didn't inherit the presidency. It didn't fall to him because he was a vice president or the president before him died. He didn't inherit his TV show. He didn't even inherit the wealth that he made in New York. He had a father that was in real estate. His father did well. But there's so many people, I know so many people whose fathers were in real estate in New York, and they screwed it all up. What Trump did was he took his father's little bit of real estate, those few apartments, where was it, Lefrak City in Queens and certain parts down in Brooklyn by Neptune or Ocean Parkway, and he took that little bit and he grew it by 1,000%, and he also branded himself. He's a very, very smart guy. So what he said, and he's really right, what they're trying to do now is to blackmail Kavanaugh, to basically say, listen, we're going to go after you and say things to destroy you, embarrass you, humiliate you, destroy your family, make your children ashamed of you unless you vote liberal. Forget the Constitution, Justice Kavanaugh. Forget how you see the law. You better vote liberal or we're going to keep coming after you with these accusations. Now, most people, after a certain age, they're in their 50s, you can accuse them of anything. But they are concerned about their family. They don't want their children to be embarrassed by them. They don't want their wife to be embarrassed. They don't want their relatives, their parents. It's not so much for themselves. They can stand up to. But that's what they're doing. And Trump, he called it. He hit the mark. He called it bullseye. He said what they're trying to do is intimidate him, threaten him to vote liberal. Now you say, well, why would they do that? shouldn't he vote according to how the law falls in the Constitution? They don't care about the Constitution. They want to destroy the Constitution. They don't care about the law. They just care about getting their own way. If it's in sexual matters, if it's in financial matters, political matters, foreign affairs matters, these are some of them are spoiled kids who went to very fancy colleges and actually believe that they're better than everybody else and they should get their way on everything. Like that Beto O'Rourke said this way, we're going to come in and take your guns. Defying the Constitution. There is a Second Amendment. Now, I'm not one of these gun nuts, but an amendment in the Constitution is an amendment. You have a right to freedom of speech. You have a right to freedom of religion, the right to freedom of assembly, the right to trial by a jury of your peers, and you have a right to own guns. And for Beto to just say, we're going to come in and just take your guns because he's president, they'll have some executive order, and he'll have a Democrat Congress that will agree with him, well, that's just defying the Constitution, the Founding Fathers. They don't care. That's something that everyone has to understand. People on the left don't care about the Constitution. They're not simply another point of view. They want to upturn the whole thing. So if they upturn the court, fine. If they ruin Kavanaugh's family life, that's fine. Half of them don't believe in the nuclear family. They detest the nuclear family. That's one of the reasons they didn't like Kavanaugh. It's an old-fashioned husband and wife and children, and they come home and they live in a nice suburban home with grass. They all hate grass. Just, you go live in cities for a while and listen to some of these people talk about grass. They demonize grass and bushes because they're in apartment houses. And so to them, the symbol of the suburb is the home with 2 stories or 3 stories in a garage. And if it's a garage where you can just go in by pushing a button, it's even worse. And grass and bushes, terrible. Flower boxes are okay because you can have flower boxes in city apartments. So they want to destroy all this. They will lie. It doesn't make a difference to them. They'll beat people up like the Antifa does. You don't see one Democrat, not even a Nancy Pelosi. You'd think that she'd have some type of respect for the country and the way, after all, she's Speaker of the House. She never criticizes this Antifa. And what do? They go around and they beat people up because they don't like your opinion. Whatever opinion you have, if it's pro-American, they call you a fascist. This is what they're doing. If you watch those people running on the Democrat side, what they want to do is tell you you can't have fuel, you can't use gasoline for your cars. You can't use natural gas for your home. You're going to live like cavemen. You can't use nuclear. You can't use anything that comes from fracking. Everything, we're going to go back and we'll become cavemen again. A car is fueled best by gasoline. And if it's an electric car, it has to be fueled by some type of central energy generating power plant, which either uses oil or uses coal or uses nuclear. You can't get beyond that. They're going to tell you, you can't eat this meat, you can't eat that food, you can't drink from this straw. These people are trying to take away all of your rights, your right to free speech. They hate your religion. If you're a serious Christian or if you're a serious Orthodox Jew, they don't want that either. You've got to be very careful. They're not only going to take away your constitutional rights, they're going to take away the rights that were given to you by God. Be very careful. This is Rabbi Sperro. We'll be right back. We got lots more to talk about. CRN Talk Radio.
This is Merrill Schindler. This time of year, fruits and vegetables are in abundance. They're just in the markets. If you go to the farmer's market, they're everywhere. And they are so good. Those strawberries, those blueberries, the melons, everything is so delicious. But if you buy too much, you'll be throwing out too much because it goes bad in most regular refrigerators. Food preservation is a big deal these days. We throw out an awful lot of perfectly good fruit and vegetables because they've gone bad in the fridge. But if that refrigerator is protected with a Fridge Fresh unit, which is quiet, totally silent actually, you won't believe how quickly your whole life will change. Fridge Fresh keeps everything fresh much, much, much longer thanks to activated oxygen, that's ozone. It's a brilliant product. You get it only one way, by going to fridgefresh.com. That's fridgefresh.com. The only way to get a Fridge Fresh. Save your fruits and vegetables with Fridge Fresh.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Legendary food critic Meryl Schindler talks about the Hill Street Cafe in Burbank, California.
The Hill Street Cafe in Burbank, California, 3301 North Glen Oaks Boulevard, open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I say breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I mean menus that give you everything you can possibly want. I'm looking at the dinner menu here. They got every sort of sandwich and salad. And not only do they have burgers and hot dogs, but they have burgers and hot dogs made with Beyond Meat and Beyond Sausage. They have a fitness menu. They have senior dining. It is a full-service restaurant with a lot of, I should mention, very good beers and wines. And they have a back room that is semi-private, fits up to 50 people. They offer delivery through ChowNow, Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. They allow filming at the restaurant as well. Parking lot is great, a lot over 60 spots. It's a terrific restaurant, and I love the fact that it's something for everybody. Hill Street Cafe, 3301 North Glen Oaks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Rabbi Sperro here, Rabbi Aryeh Sperro. Try to say that. Aryeh, very difficult, on the Rabbi Sperro Show. That's why we call it the Rabbi Sperro Show, not the Rabbi Aryeh Sperro Show. We're here on CRN Talk. You can reach us at 818-818-6401, or why don't you try us on Facebook at facebook.com/CRN Talk. I was just listening to the commercial. The fella talking about fruits and vegetables, he might be out in California, but he's from Brooklyn. Maybe he's from certain parts of Manhattan, but he's from Brooklyn. Or maybe the most western part of Queens. Anyways, he was advertising for a restaurant in Burbank. I used to go to Burbank all the time. I used to come to L.A. quite often. I loved it in those days. And then I would take the Coldwater Canyon, and I would take that over the hills and come down into the valley. And we'd end up near Burbank, and there was a Jewish community actually out there, out in that area. What was it? Not Riverside, but somewhere near Burbank. And I used to spend a lot of time there, so it's interesting hearing these advertisements about restaurants in Burbank. We were talking about the left and what they're doing. If you listen to this Pocahontas this week, she came out and she's going to destroy the banks. Now listen. There are a lot of people in America that don't like corporations that make a lot of money, although you really should take a second thought at that. And by them making money means that they're successful and they're able to provide you the services. You know, mankind wasn't born having banks and having good medicines and drugs. We're very happy and we're very fortunate to have this. It took a lot of time, 100 years or so, for these companies to become what they are. Now, let me tell you something about a bank. I don't hate banks, and I don't hate if they make money. First of all, you're not forced to go to any particular bank. If you don't like the rate that a bank is giving you to CD, you can always go to another bank. And if you really search hard enough, today with the internet, you can find some bank, some type of financial institution outside of your city that will offer you a better rate. If you don't like the service, there's another bank where you can get good service. And there are banks still that provide excellent service, wonderful, nice tellers, people that are managers. I like banks, and I'll tell you why. Because I was only able to buy my house because of the bank. I could not put down $275,000 in cash to buy my house. How could I do that? How could I come up with $275,000? Thank God there's this thing called a bank. A bank says, listen, we looked at your credit, we looked at your history, you're a pretty good guy, and what we're going to do is we're going to lend you about 80% of the money. You just got to come up with 20%, and in many cases it's just 10%. And in the good old days it was about 5%. That's all you have to do. And we trust you, and we'll lend you that money, and you can have a house. And you can live with dignity. If you want, you can have a family, and your family can live with dignity. You can have a place. You can have a homestead. That's what a bank does. I don't hate the banks, and I don't hate them because they make money. Why would they be in business if they didn't make money? And look at all these people that are being paid because they work at a bank. Now, every bank has its problems. I know some people that were in the banking business, and they do tell me that the banks are they're putting too much work on too few employees. They're saving money that way, and it's very stressful on many people that are in the back side, not the front side, not the tellers necessarily, but on the back side. The side that you don't see. But a bank in and of itself, why would I be angry? I'm not angry at drug companies. Let me tell you something. I take a little cholesterol pill. It doesn't cost me hardly anything. I think I pay $3 a month, and they save my life. All these people that we knew, our grandparents, that died in their late 50s, their early 60s, Aunt Betty or Uncle Walter or whoever these people were that died because of heart attacks or blood pressure. They didn't have these medicines that we have today. In my lifetime, when I grew up in the 50s and the early 60s, men, they became 64, 65, they passed on. That's why Social Security started at 65 because, what, you were on it for a year. Maybe a year or two. Nobody lived like today. Everybody lives today to 85. I know people now that are living into their 90s. And it's all because of these little drugs, these simvastatins or these beta blockers, and they cost you $3 a month, and they save your life. Well, this is from a drug company, so I don't care if they make a profit. That profit, first of all, pays for hundreds of thousands of employees, and they have a good life, and we're all living longer. So. But what they want to do is deny you that. They don't want you to be able to have oil. They don't want you to be able to have lumber. They don't want you to be able to have meat. They don't want you to be able to use a plastic straw. They hate the banks. They hate everything. These are people that want to control every facet of your life, and if they are elected, we will live like Luddites, like cavemen, like pre-electricity people. We'll have nothing. Stay tuned. Rabbi Sperro will be right back after the break.
We are the debt destroyer. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt, call now to get our free report that tells you how to destroy your debt. It's a great resource. Plus, when you make this free call right now, we'll have a debt destroyer expert ready to help you. They can show you how they can help you destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help you slash your debt. Call right now for free information, including our Debt Destroyer Guide, a $300 value, yours free. Call right now.
800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. That's 800-515-6348.
The widely popular book Where'd You Go, Bernadette is in theaters. What does actress Cate Blanchett say is one of her favorite relationships in the film?
There's a cataclysmic relationship that she has with her neighbour, from her perspective, a busybody parent at the school. And often the person that you have the most antagonistic relationship you have a lot in common with. And I think that's a bit of a revelation for both of them.
Where'd You Go, Bernadette, rated PG-13. Rated PG-13. For This Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Are you tired of the courts usurping your freedom? America is supposed to be a democracy, but 9 unelected justices sitting up high in Washington, D.C. are making laws which they have no right to make. Join Richard Nixon live in the Legal Lounge every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on crntalk.com. Richard Nixon's a practicing attorney and noted author, and we talk all things legal, all things constitutional from a strict constructionalist perspective. Join Richard Nixon live in the Legal Lounge every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time on CRN Digital Talk Radio, crntalk.com.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus enjoy great food too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for 2. Much more too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch, just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvinci's.com.
Welcome back. This is the Rabbi Sperro Show, and I just heard all about chicken marsala. Ooh, love chicken marsala. That white wine, the mushrooms, you bread the chicken. Wonderful. Like it very much. Nice and tender. I can make chicken marsala. So in Fullerton, California. Oh, my goodness. You know, another thing happened this week that is very indicative of the left. By the way, this is the Rabbi Sperro Show. You can call us at 818-818-6401, or you can just, why don't you go to Facebook? Reach us that way, facebook.com/CRN Talk. There was a report out of Politico, which is a left-wing internet newspaper. There are a lot of these internet newspapers that have become more powerful, and they've replaced the old names. You know, we all grew up in communities where there was a local newspaper. And now, even in the big cities, if it's the Philadelphia Inquirer or the Canton Repository, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, or the Detroit Free Press, or the Boston Herald, even the Los Angeles Times Los Angeles being a suburb, of course, of Burbank and Fullerton. These papers are having tremendous trouble. But all these other ones, Politico and, I don't know, the Washington Examiner and Real Politics, all these internet ones, they're doing much better. Listen, they don't have to purchase the that newsprint, and they don't have to purchase the paper, and they don't have to have as many staff and trucks, and it's much easier. So Politico, which is a left-wing type of internet newspaper, had a story, a false story, saying that the Israelis were spying on Donald Trump in the White House. Who was the source for this story? Former senior officials in the Obama White House. Well, of course, they don't have much credibility. These are the people that made the deal with Iran. And Iran has these airplanes, and on the airplanes they've got arrows pointing to Israel, that they're going to destroy Israel. They're making nuclear bombs to destroy Israel, and then if they get enough of a launch power, they'll eventually try to destroy the United States. Europe for sure. Forget about Europe. We'll talk about that on some other show. And so these senior officials, first of all, in the Obama administration, they had such disdain for Israel and Netanyahu. They tried to convince people not to listen to Netanyahu when he was invited by John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, to address the Congress. And you had about a handful of Democrats that refused to enter the session. Many times Obama delighted in humiliating Netanyahu. Obama had a visceral dislike for Israel. It was only second to his visceral dislike for the United States. This is Obama, who, when he first met the King of Saudi Arabia, he bowed down, basically. Here is the President of the United States, and here we have the symbolism that the President of the United States is bowing down to Islam, to Saudi Arabia, the people that are in charge of Mecca and Medina, the seat of Islam. And then when there were protesters in Iran, brave protesters, part of the Green Movement, who wanted freedom. They didn't want to be stoned to death for every little thing that they did. And they wanted the freedom that they had when Iran was a Persian country with a Persian culture, and not under this onerous, oppressive Khomeini laws and Khomeini laws. First they had Khomeini, then it's now Khomeini. And these people were protesting, and what did he do, the President of the United States, Obama? Instead of supporting them in their quest for freedom, he sided with what he called the leader superior. What did he call him? The supreme leader. Yes, the supreme leader. Who in the hell calls anybody a supreme leader? It's almost like something that you call Adolf Hitler or Mussolini or Stalin, the supreme leader. Here you had the President of the United States, who should be an ambassador for freedom, should be helping people who are struggling for freedom. After all, that's what the United States was birthed into, freedom. And what is he saying? He says, no, we're not on your side. You just listen to the supreme leader, to the great imam. This is Obama. So Obama, his administration, his senior officials, of course they were against Israel and they loved Iran. What kind of people, what type of people give $150 billion to Iran? All of the menacing terrorism that you see all throughout the Middle East now, coming from Iran, it's because we gave them $150 billion. You sent them about, what was it, $1.5 billion in cash? How humiliating for the United States, as if we're paying off the mafia in cash. So he was paying off the Iranian mullahs. $1.5 billion in cases and pallets on secret planes, C-130 cargo planes. This was Obama. So, of course, his senior officials made this up. They want to cause, number one, a rift between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. They want to cause a rift between the United States of America and Israel. They hate Israel. And I want to tell you something. Let me tell you something. As a rabbi, I know this. Some of these people in the Obama administration that were trying to freeze out Israel, take Jerusalem from Israel, some of them were born Jewish. They're not actively Jewish today. They don't act like Jews, but they were born Jewish. And I think you have this in any religion. You have people that were born into something, they reject it, and so now they want to destroy it. So these people made this claim this week. Well, we found out it's all BS, baloney, not true, and actually Donald Trump was the one that said it. They did not spy on us. This is all an attempt to either have Netanyahu lose the upcoming election this Tuesday or to cause a rift between the United States and America and Israel. Donald Trump is a friend of Israel and the Jewish people. Rabbi Sperro will see you right back after the break.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597.
Hello, CRN listeners. I'm Michael Horn. And you know, you've all helped build MyPillow into the amazing company that it is today. Now, Michael Lindell, the inventor and CEO of MyPillow, wants to give back to my listeners. You can get great discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the radio listener specials. You can save up to 50% off on MyPillows, mattress toppers, bed sheets, and so much more. For example, the body pillow, normally $89.99, but with the promo code WINNER, it's only $29.99. Remember, all MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, save up to 50% off, including the body pillow for only $29.99. Enter promo code WINNER or call 800-513-3363 for these great specials.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Rabbi Sperro, Rabbi Aryeh Sperro. Some call me America's Rabbi. You can if you want. This is the Rabbi Sperro Show. We're here on CRN Talk, Digital Talk Radio. You can call us at 818-6401, or you can reach us by Facebook.com/CRN Talk. And of course, you can hear us on Google, and you can hear us on Amazon, and I'm sure you can hear us on Roku. Listen, watch out for Roku. It's moving up there. It's going to become an important part of our life. We were talking about the left not being simply another point of view, but actually having as its goal the absolute turning over of everything we hold dear. They don't want an American identity. They don't want the American Constitution. They want to control your life. They are power hungry. They don't like what you like. They don't love what you love. They even want an abortion of an innocent fetus up to the moment of birth, and some even after birth. These are people with completely different values. They might live in the same country. Some of them might even be neighbors down the street. But I'm telling you, they want to destroy this country. They don't want you to eat meat. They don't want you to use gasoline. They don't want you to have fuel, natural gas. They don't want you to have people to have jobs in fracking and lumber. They don't want you to drive this car and that car and drink from this straw and that straw. They don't want you to have a traditional view of life. If you do, they're going to destroy your reputation. They don't even care if they destroy the Supreme Court. They don't care about our institutions. This is not just a Democrat Party or just an alternate point of view we call liberal. These are people, you can't believe it because you would think that they would love our Constitution. These are people that have become power hungry. They think they're better. They're elitists. They're more than socialists. They are quasi-communists. Watch out. We have now a call from Sheila from Los Angeles. Now, she's not from Fullerton, and she's not from Burbank, from Los Angeles itself. Hello, is that Sheila on the phone?
Yes. Hi, Rabbi Sperro.
Hello, Sheila.
Thank you for taking my call. So my question is this. You were talking before about Israel and us giving $150 million to Iran that Obama gave of our taxpayer money. And here's my question. If we give $150 million to Iran, does that bother, do you think, the American voter more than if we're giving $150 million to something else that we don't believe in that's happening domestically? Do you think Americans are more concerned with domestic issues or with things having to do with our foreign affairs? And what do you think are the most important issues for women going into the 2020 election? Do you think it's foreign affairs issues, like what's happening with Europe and Brexit and Israel and these things happening in the Middle East with the oil? Or do you think it's more domestic issues that hit closer to home?
Okay, very good question. And that's not 150 million, Sheila. That's 150 billion. That's more money than the GDP, the gross domestic product of some entire countries. It's 150 billion that Obama gave to Iran. He claimed that it was in order to get them to sign a treaty. But when you look at the treaty, you ask yourself, well, what did we get from this treaty? They are given permission by this treaty to eventually, within a few years, have a nuclear bomb. So what did we gain? We also know that they cheat. We also know, and Obama knew, that they wouldn't allow us to do a real inspection. They don't believe, the Iranians don't believe in transparency. So why did he give them $150 billion? He's not a dumb man. He might be an evil man, but he's not a dumb man. And he gave it to them under the guise of a treaty. He wanted them to have it. People, in my opinion, don't understand the depth of loathing that Obama had for Israel and to a great degree the United States. Of course, he lives here. Who wouldn't want to live in the United States? All these lefties that complain about the United States, they still live here. I don't see them leaving the place, because who can live better than a person who lives in the United States? So it was $150 billion. Now, I do think that the American people care more, it's a very good question, about our country giving $150 billion to an enemy like Iran, more than spending, let's say, $150 billion on some project that they don't like. I mean, we don't like giving all this money to welfare for people that don't deserve to be on welfare. If you're an able-bodied man, 25, 30, 35 years old, and you're healthy, you don't deserve to be on welfare. Welfare is for people who are sick, for women with children who have no source of income and they cannot go out and work, people that are, God forbid, crippled. So people don't want that, but it angers them much more when our country gives to a foreign country money that's being used to destroy our soldiers, to destroy our allies. Now, as far as what are the important issues for women, great question. We can't start that now. We'll do that when we return from the break. But I will tell you, it depends. If it's a conservative woman, she wants safety for her children, opportunity for her children. If it's a very liberal person, they don't seem to care about that as much as having a president that will have the sexual mores and the virtue signaling. There's a big difference in the mindset. Rabbi Sperro will be back for one final segment after Chicken Marsala.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner, and don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch, just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvincis.com.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422. CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Well, we're back from the break. This is our final segment. We only have about 4 minutes to go. We had Sheila on the phone. She's not on the phone anymore. I think she had to go shopping somewhere at Pico Robertson or maybe Fairfax La Brea. Maybe she's on Sepulveda. I don't know. Maybe she went over to the Pacific Palisades. She's in Malibu. She's in Venice. I don't know, but she's not with us anymore. She asked what is important to women. So listen, to me, if you're a normal person, there is no difference between women's issues and men's issues. If you're a mother, you have children, you want them to have opportunity. So why would you want to elect a socialist, a communist? Except a lot of people don't understand what socialism is and what communism, Marxism is. They think it's all about fairness and equity, and their child is going to be treated fairly and will have a wonderful life, a good job. It's not so. You'll have no opportunity because eventually there'll be no jobs. If there's not a private enterprise which is based on people's ingenuity and people's belief in themselves and building a business where they believe in their product, there will be no jobs for your children 20 years after the socialism sets in. Actually, far less. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela was a very rich country, and within a couple, 2-3 years, it went down the drain. After 4 years, it's terrible. They're living like cavemen. People fiercely fighting each other like, God forbid, like dogs in the desert. Desert dogs, this is what socialism does, but people don't understand it until they live through it. Just ask the Russians. I know a lot of Russians that came from Russia. They don't want any type of communism. So if you really care about opportunity for your child, economic success, prosperity, something that's good for your child and future grandchildren, you vote for someone who's going to be good for that, for the economy, which is Trump, not some socialist on the left. If you want your children to be protected from jihadists, from people coming over the border, many of our sex traffickers, mules bringing opiates, destroying city after city. City after city is being destroyed by opiate Every day there's a new city that's now become a market for all these people coming across the border. You saw what's happening in Maryland, people being raped. I don't care that 100% of them don't do it. We're not in the business here of sociology. We're in the business of protecting Americans. Just because 100% of them don't do it, that's for some sociological class and professor to talk about. But if you're a person, you want to protect your life, why would you risk even 30%, 40%? But if the issue that's important to you is abortion, well, then, of course, you're not going to vote for Donald Trump or any Republican. You're going to want to be assured that you can have abortion till the last minute. And if you live in Virginia, you can have abortion even after the baby's born. I don't know, with this obsession with abortion, how many people get abortions? And if a mother has to get an abortion to save her life, everybody agrees. Even if a person has to have an abortion because of rape, and so she has an abortion early on, most people aren't going to stand in the way. Whatever the law is, they'll look aside. So I don't know what this obsession is, but many suburban mothers have that fear. What women do look at differently than men is they like a very nice, soft personality. That was Clinton's, that was his advantage. While he was raping these women and he was doing things to women he shouldn't do, but he came across as, I care, I feel your pain, and they think that way that a person is going to be good for them. Really not. It's really not so. If you live a life, you realize that the person who has good convictions, lives by that convictions, even if he might be a little bit of a curmudgeon, that is a person that you can rely on much more than someone who just comes across, I feel your pain, but doesn't really feel your pain at all and has a terrible agenda. So if we have to maybe soften our image, not because it makes us better, but it just seems to reassure some women, and we need all the people that we can on our side. This is Rabbi Sperro. I've enjoyed being with you tonight. I hope you have. Sunday night is a special night. It's a chance for us to get together and to talk, and sometimes we hear from people from LA. Maybe we'll hear from some people in my old city of Canton, Ohio, and Cleveland, Ohio. The Rabbi Sperro Show on CRN Radio. Thank you, Mike Gary, our engineer, Michael Horn, and Chicken Marcella. Until next week, bye-bye.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin', and take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iTunes, or